the American West, a land of opportunity and hardship, where the horizon seemed endless and the challenges were just as vast. A land of vast prairies and dusty trails, stretching as far as the eye could see. After the Civil War, Texas was teeming with longhorns. These resilient animals roam freely, their numbers growing rapidly. These tough cattle needed to get to market, where they could be sold for a profit. Cowboys drove millions of cattle north, along trails like the Chisholm Trail, enduring long and grueling journeys. It was a hard life, filled with relentless work and little rest. Cowboys spent long days in the saddle, often under the scorching sun, guiding the cattle through rough terrain. They faced dangers like stampedes and bad weather, which could turn deadly in an instant. They slept under the stars, with only the night sky as their blanket, and they were always hungry, their stomachs growling after a long day of work. Feeding a crew of hungry cowboys was a challenge, one that required ingenuity and resourcefulness. At first, cowboys carried their own food, packing it into saddlebags. They packed it in saddlebags. This food was simple, often just enough to keep them going. It was usually dried meat, beans, and biscuits, a diet that was far from satisfying. These supplies didn't last long, often running out before the journey's end. They were often infested with bugs, making an already meager meal even less appetizing. Finding fresh food was nearly impossible in the barren landscape they traversed. Cowboys needed a better way to sustain themselves on these long drives. The lack of a good cooking setup made life on the trail harder, adding to their daily struggles. Morale was low when the cowboys didn't have a decent meal, affecting their performance and spirit. They were tired of eating the same bland food, day in and day out. They dreamed of a hot meal at the end of a long day. Something had to change, and soon. Charles Goodnight was a Texas rancher and trailblazer. He knew the struggles of cattle drives firsthand. He saw the need for a better way to feed his cowboys. In 1866, he came up with a brilliant solution. He would create a mobile kitchen. This would change cattle drives forever. Goodnight started with a sturdy army wagon. He modified it to withstand the rugged journey. He added a chuck box. This was a storage compartment for food and cooking gear. He included a water barrel, and this provided much needed hydration. The birth of the Chuckwagon was a turning point for life on the trail. Goodnight's invention was more than just a wagon. It was a symbol of innovation and resourcefulness. It demonstrated his understanding of the cowboy's needs. The Chuckwagon was going to revolutionize the cattle drive experience. The Chuckwagon was a marvel of practicality and efficiency, a true innovation of its time. It was typically pulled by a team of oxen or mules, making it a reliable companion on long cattle drives. The chuck box was the heart of the Chuckwagon, meticulously designed to hold all the essentials. It had shelves and drawers for storing food, ensuring that everything was within easy reach. It housed cooking utensils, spices, and coffee, making it a fully equipped mobile kitchen. The Chuckwagon had a hinged rear panel that could be lowered to create a workstation. This panel could be lowered to create a workstation, providing a convenient space for the cook to prepare meals. The wagon sides were often reinforced with iron, adding durability and protection. This protected the contents from bumps and spills during the journey, ensuring that nothing was lost or damaged. Some chuck wagons even had a built-in coffee grinder, a luxury that provided fresh coffee on the trail. This ensured fresh coffee for the weary cowboys, a small comfort that made a big difference. The Chuckwagon was a testament to the ingenuity of the American cowboy, a symbol of their resourcefulness. It was a self-contained unit designed to meet all the needs of the trail. It brought a sense of home and comfort to the harsh realities of the trail, a beacon of warmth and sustenance. The cowboys no longer had to worry about their next meal, knowing that the Chuckwagon was always there. They could focus on their job, confident that their needs were taken care of by this remarkable kitchen on wheels. The Chuckwagon was much more than just a mobile kitchen. It was the heart of the cattle drive. It was a gathering place for the cowboys at the end of a long day. It provided a sense of community and camaraderie. It was a place where stories were shared and songs were sung. The Chuckwagon played a vital role in boosting morale. A hot meal and a sense of routine made a world of difference. The cowboys looked forward to their meals. They appreciated the cook's hard work. The Chuckwagon fostered a sense of unity and teamwork. The Chuckwagon represented a sense of normalcy in an otherwise unpredictable environment. It was a beacon of civilization in the untamed West. It was a symbol of home on the open range. Its impact extended far beyond simply providing sustenance. The Chuckwagon cook was a highly respected figure on the cattle drive. He was the heart and soul of the camp, ensuring that everyone was well fed and taken care of. He was more than just a cook. He was the glue that held the team together, providing not just meals, but also a sense of home and comfort. He was a doctor, a barber, and a confidant. Whenever a cowboy was injured or needed a haircut, the cook was there to help. He listened to the cowboys' troubles. Around the campfire, he was the one they turned to for a sympathetic ear. He dispensed wisdom and advice. His words often carried the weight of experience and were valued by all. He was a vital part of the team. His presence was essential for the smooth running of the cattle drive. The cook's day started before sunrise. He was the first to rise and the last to rest. He had to build a fire and prepare breakfast. The smell of coffee and bacon would wake the cowboys. Then he packed up the Chuckwagon. Every item had its place, and he made sure nothing was left behind. He drove it to the next campsite. The journey was long and often treacherous, but he navigated it with skill. He set up camp and started cooking again. The cycle of work was relentless, but he never complained. It was a demanding job. The physical and mental stamina required was immense. It required skill, stamina, and a good sense of humor. Despite the hardships, he always found a way to keep spirits high. Cooks were often known for their colorful personalities and their ability to tell a good yarn. Their stories were a source of entertainment and morale. They were masters of resourcefulness. With limited supplies, they could create meals that were both hearty and delicious. They could whip up a delicious meal with limited ingredients. Their culinary skills were nothing short of miraculous. They were the unsung heroes of the cattle drive. Their contributions were invaluable, and they earned the respect and gratitude of every cowboy. The Chuckwagon cook was limited by available ingredients. Fresh food was scarce. He relied on non-perishable items. These included beans, bacon, dried fruit, and coffee. He supplemented these staples with whatever he could find along the trail. This might include wild game, berries, and herbs. A typical Chuckwagon meal was simple but filling. Breakfast might be sourdough biscuits, bacon, and gravy. Lunch was often eaten on the move. It consisted of cold leftovers, jerky, and biscuits. Dinner was the main event. It was usually a hearty stew or beans, cooked with bacon or salt pork. Despite the limited ingredients, the Chuckwagon cook could work wonders. He was a master of improvisation. He often added spices to make the food tastier. He understood the importance of a good meal to keep the cowboys happy and healthy. The era of the great cattle drives eventually faded, but the Chuckwagon's legacy lives on. It became a symbol of Western hospitality and ingenuity. It influenced the development of the modern food truck. It continues to inspire chefs and food lovers today. The Chuckwagon's influence can be seen in modern barbecue culture. The slow cooking methods and simple ingredients are still popular today. Many modern restaurants specialize in Chuckwagon style cuisine. They offer hearty rustic dishes that harken back to the days of the Wild West. The Chuckwagon was more than just a mobile kitchen. It was a symbol of the American spirit. It represented hard work, innovation, and a love of good food. It remains a testament to the resourcefulness of the cowboys who helped shape the American West. If you enjoyed this journey through the history of the Chuckwagon, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and thanks for watching.